Ah!
Yeah!
Hey!
Oh my God! What a fish! Yeah! Woo! Hell yeah! Woo! Weighs as much as me.
That's really pushing too.
Thanks,
right
Phil.
Come
Got
on,
me out
John.
here, baby.
I got it.
What happened, man? You saved the rod? What happened, Ed?
Came out of my hand, brother.
Oh my God! How'd you save it?
These guys saved it.
Oh my God!
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you're welcome,
How did you
brother.
do that, Dave?
I swung my rod and grabbed it.
Oh my God! So give me this one more time again. His rod was tangled with a fish. It was going up the rail, and you used your rod to scoop it up.
Absolutely.
And then he grabbed it.
And then he grabbed it, and we saved the day.
You saved him about $1,000 is what you saved him.
Absolutely.
Nice job.
All right.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This gorgeous September the 23rd. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, a very special day in my life because my son Patrick was born on this very day, September 23rd, 1994. And I want to wish Patrick a happy birthday, a wonderful day today. I know he's going to be rooting for the Irish. In fact, he sent me a text at 5 o'clock this morning and said, Dad, I'd really like Notre Dame to win today. I know a lot of you guys out there are SC fans, but listen, Notre Dame's playing Ohio State. That's what Patrick wants. I'm all in on that with him. So happy birthday, son. Hope you have a wonderful day. And enjoy yourself, man, because you deserve it. I love you very, very much. All right, my friends, just back in from an incredible 2-day trip on board the Amigo. Incredible because of the crew on the Amigo, because of the great people who showed up, and I'm looking at you and I'm thanking you right now. I enjoyed spending time with each and every one of you so very much on this trip. It was a lot of fun. We'll get into the trip, what we caught and everything else, but John Garma, I gotta say good morning to John because he put on a 205-pound bluefin tuna. Dramatic moment on board the Amigo. That was an exceptional catch, and there was a lot of other exceptional catches. Don't forget, lobster season's on the horizon, and if you want 10% off on your gear, all you have to do is go to promarahi.com, put in Friedman 10. When you check out, you'll get 10% off your lobster gear. It's right around the corner. It's going to be a lot of fun. www.optionusa.com, put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift, a love note from Greg Brown, the owner, and a hug and a kiss if he ever sees you around. And the Independence and Friedman Adventures are sailing together October the 20th for a 5-day trip. There's a few spots left on that one, and we would love you to join us. I'll be there shooting another video. That should be a lot of fun. That's this October the 20th. We'll be on board the Independence, 5 days, $2,250. You can get more information by calling the number or by going to independencesportfishing.com. Great to be with you all and a lot to talk about. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, my God. So great to be with you. What an extraordinary time it was on board the Amigo. The fishing was far from wide open. In fact, it was downright scratchy, not only for the Amigo, but for the entire fleet. But we had several exceptional catches and things that transpired on the trip. And as I said to you, and I know you get tired of hearing this, but I'm telling you, there is really something to this Friedman Adventure family thing, because that group that was on board the Amigo yesterday gelled with the crew on board the Amigo, and we had the time of our life out there. Great food, great crew, great boat, great captain, Mark Paisano Jr., and of course, some extraordinary angling opportunities, which we will get into with you right now. All right, let me take you south of the border, down there in Ensenada. A lot of guys are striking out offshore. There's still a lot of that chocolate water around, but you can come up with a catch of bluefin tuna, an occasional yellowfin tuna. There's a few dorado hanging out, but a lot of guys end up inshore where there's bonita, calico bass, sand bass, a few barracuda around, and rockfish. The fishing in there for the pongeros, not bad at all. And beautiful weather, man. We encountered gorgeous weather on our Amigo trip. No question about it. It has been really beautiful. All right, let me characterize the bite. And remember, boats from San Diego really up to the Channel Islands can get into bluefin tuna. There are several pockets of this fish. There's fish as close as 7 miles from Point Loma to out to Tanner Bank. In between, we saw a lot of fish breaking off the east end of Catalina Island. When you got into the clean water yesterday, they had fish in the Channel Islands. And it really has been, for the most part, there's exceptions and ripper bites, but for the most part, it's been these long, plunkers, slow kind of bites where I think the best we ever had was 4 fish going, and that was a flash. Most of the time it was 1 fish, 2 fish, dry, get another fish, then we'd move and try it again. Then you get on a fish that may be an hour-long battle because there's a lot of big stuff running around. So, of course, the dilemma that presents itself to you as an angler is, I want to get a bite. And the way to get a bite is dropping the fluorocarbon down to 30 pound, let's say. But if I hook a 205 pounder like John did, I'm in serious trouble. So once again, that is the dilemma. Talk to your crew members about it. I saw it play out and many times yesterday on the Amigo where guys would drop down, they get that bite. Some guys would hook a 25, 30, 40 pound fish, no problem. Other guys would fish a 100+ pounder and it was zing powie pretty darn fast on that bigger grade fish. So that is just a fine line that you're going to have to walk. And a lot of this fish, at least on the Amigo and talking to several boats around us, are long soak fish. That means you've got your bait in the water for a prolonged period of time. Belly hook bait was working really, really great. But Wild Bill, who was on our trip, Bill said, you know, Phil, I'm old school. I don't have 2-speed reels. I'm going with a nose hook bait. He went, I think, 3 for 3. I don't believe he lost one. So Bill did great and had a great time and put it to him. So nose hook bait, long soak. You can get bit on the retrieve with a slow retrieve. Bill never got bit that way, he said, but a slow retrieve will work every single way. All right, that 205 pounder got hooked on the right gear, no question about it. And John got it, I want to say about 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up to do something at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll leave it to your imagination. And there, sitting in the galley, is John Garma. He's sitting there, man, and he's just waiting for Nick, who's running the boat at night, to pull him back and say drop. And he was the only guy out there. So, and I go, John, you're going to have to get some sleep, man. And he goes, I don't need to sleep. I'm here to catch a big fish. And he just kept going. And then it looked like, you know, everybody started to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning. John was still at it, still working hard, drops his jig down. So he has it on the heavy string, and he hooks a fish that he battled for about 50 minutes, and that was an extraordinary battle. When that fish came to color, oh my God, it just kept making those big circles, and Mark Paisano Jr. was coaching him along with Mark Sonato and everybody else on there, and they're telling him, okay, one more circle, man, and I am just, this is a big fish, and it's making that circle, and I'm thinking to myself, please, please, Lord, let John get this fish. And man, when they put the gaff in it, he let out a victorious scream, and it was fantastic. When that fish came over the rail, it was exceptional. So he had it on the right tackle, and he knows what he's doing. Also, he did such a fantastic job. Incidentally, I'm working on that video. I don't know that I'll get it up today, but I'm going to definitely have it up tomorrow. It's really a fun video. A lot of great catches, a lot of great information. Trip on the Amigo was a good one. I'll have more on that. So some really fine fishing. Now, so you get the idea. You want to try to hook these things on the heavy string, but you may have to drop down to smaller hooks and lighter line to get a bite. New Loan, great trip. They had a day and a half trip down there out of Point Loma sport fishing. 25 guys, 50 bluefin tuna, 7 yellowfin tuna, 3 Dorado. On board our trip on the Amigo, we had 15 guys, 2-day trip. I believe, well, hold on. Did I write that down for you? Yeah, 15 guys, 24 bluefin tuna, 2 yellowfin tuna. You look at that score and you say, well, you know, not that great. But man, the extraordinary opportunity at some of these big fish makes it all worthwhile. And I wouldn't trade those memories on that trip for anything. We all had such a phenomenal time. So scores range from, you can get limits in some cases. True Line was out there yesterday, out of 22nd Street Landing. in San Pedro, California. He had 7 guys on, 14 bluefin. Limits for John. He did a really great job out there. Freedom had an exceptionally tough day yesterday in this zone. So it is very hit and miss right now. Very difficult. The weather's perfect, and there's a lot of fish. The thing is, it doesn't seem like that fish is balled up all that much. It's just scattered all over the place. And that was nighttime and daytime. So it was very scratchy, picky fishing with some exceptions. Steve Bermudez was on board the full-day trip on board the Malahini. He reports 17 bluefin, 13 yellowfin, and the Dorado he said that they had on board there was about a 25-pounder. San Diego worked hard all day long yesterday. Couldn't come up with a big hit on the fish. And as they pointed out on the San Diego, they put in a hard day every single day. They said, you know, we might be fishing 7 miles from the point. We might be fishing 40-plus miles from the point. It might be 50-pound bluefin tuna to 100-pound bluefin tuna. It might be yellowfin tuna. It's just in a state of flux. And to be honest with you, that makes it all more interesting. It's really a lot of fun. Ray Millman, good friend of mine. Ray was on board the Liberty yesterday, and what a trip he had. He went 6 for 8 on the mixed bluefin, yellowfin tuna. Nice going, Ray. He said they got into about a 3-hour drift around noon and ended up with 120 mixed bluefin and yellowfin tuna, and that is a darn good trip. And Millman said the Liberty and her crew, really fantastic, top notch. Ray's been fishing a long time. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't endorse boats or operations unless he truly means it. And man, that sounded like just a great trip. The Fury, 2 for 6 on the big fish. They had a 195-pound bluefin yesterday, a 210-pound bluefin tuna. I mean, there are some slugs running around out there. The Freelance, 3 for 7 on the bluefin. Those are local guys up here out of Newport Beach, California. That's what I mean. This fish is absolutely everywhere. The El Patron, 10 guys, 12 bluefin, 3 yellowfin tuna. San Diego-based boats went from very good fishing to very poor fishing. Man, it is that kind of a bite. Scott Bucher decking on board the Point Loma yesterday. Scott says, man, there are some much bigger fish starting to run around here. Scott said 18 people on the Point Loma, had 15 on the bluefin tuna, 19 yellowfin tuna. On board the Mission Belle, tough day yesterday. So I'm trying to give you an accurate picture of exactly what's going on, and hopefully I've been able to do just that. That Amigo trip, fantastic. I know the numbers don't look exceptionally good, but what great service, what a great crew, what a great bunch of people. And again, Joe Martinez was there catching some big fish. Joe, another Joe who was on board, really great stuff. There was an angler who dropped his very expensive rig in the drink. It got actually tangled with the tuna. You saw it on the lead-in. And man, oh man, what a save by Dave Schaaf from Schaaf Air Conditioning and Heating. I mentioned that because Dave made a generous donation to our efforts to send more goods down to Mexico. Dave, you're the man. But Dave, thinking of others, took his rod, scooped it, and Ed was able to reach over the side and catch that thing. You saw that. So really fun stuff. There is bluefin tuna right there off the east end of Catalina Island. In fact, there was foamers up for quite some time, fish jumping out of the water. Guys that are getting on it are reporting that the fish are finicky. You think that light switch is about to go on, and it doesn't quite go on. You scratch out some fish, and they're big. So on these full-day trips, some guys are not quite tackled up for them. I mean, they put the hurt you. I watched Joe Martinez hook about a 90-pounder on 30-pound on board the Amigo. And let me tell you something. Joe knows what the heck he's doing. He's an extraordinary angler. Fun guy to fish with. Joe, good morning. Grace, his lovely wife, good morning to you. Joe got beat up on that fish, man. I mean it. He really got beat up, and he said, these things are tough, man, especially on 30 pound. He was on that fish for a long time, did everything right. That's why he inevitably or eventually caught that fish. But, man, what a battle. What a great guy. What a great bunch of people on board that trip. I had so much fun. I can't say enough about it. All right, up there in the Channel Islands, we'll just keep it on the bluefin kind of theme right now. Aloha Spirit had 3 bluefin tuna. They're seeing copious amounts of BFT up there in that neck of the woods, and they're also able to drop back fish, some whitefish, rockfish, that kind of thing, and load up the sacks with some of that fine-eating fish. Nothing in the world wrong with that kind of fishing. All right, we'll take you to the islands, and man, I got to tell you, there is really not many guys fishing islands. Coronado Island's few, Yellow's calico bass, San Clemente Island corroded with sea lions, a pain in the you-know-what, very difficult to put anything together there. No one's fishing it because right outside of there you have this incredible opportunity to catch a 2, maybe even 300-pound bluefin tuna right now. Up there at Catalina Island, whitefish and sheep's head and some other bottom species. When you're fishing in that deeper water, got to be at 300 plus feet of water right now. Also an occasional yellowtail there and some fair calico bass fishing. Channel Islands, you've got a shot at that bluefin, and also good rockfish up there in that neck of the woods. Coral Sea, Stardust up there out of Santa Barbara with some good fishing. Fort Bragg, when they have a weather window, still good albacore fishing, and some big-eyed tuna up there in that neck of the woods. Looking at the coast, there's still some decent calico bass fishing out of San Diego. A lot of released fish because they're short under the 14-inch required size limit, but there's some really good fishing down there on bass. Same thing out of Oceanside and up there around Dana. Wharf sport fishing, we see some good fishing. And up here in the LA Orange County area, this water is pretty clean right now, but there's still some of that chocolate water. A lot of guys are focusing their attention and effort on whitefish and doing pretty well. The Monte Carlo, 12 guys, 72 whitefish. Marina del Rey with lots of rockfish, a few bass up there. Victory, same kind of a thing, whitefish and sheep's head and rockfish for those boys. And as we move you up the coast, same thing up there out of the Channel Island local areas, like boats like out of Ventura Harbor, sport fishing, Island Spirit and Cody Rogers, whitefish and some rockfish up there in that neck of the woods also. Some pretty good surf fishing going on when you have clean water. You're not in that kind of, you know, it's almost red tide water. I think it is red tide. It's in algae bloom for sure. And when you're out of that, there's some really good corvina fishing right here. Really short waters where you fish those corvina, right where you see that wave breaking. Even in here in this water that's a foot or 2 deep, those corvina are rummaging around looking for sand crabs, and you kind of want to match the hatch of your bait fishing. Digging up sand crabs is a good way to go. Or, of course, you can go to your surf fishing headquarters, Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They have all your baits. They have all your surf fishing tackle. They have big game stuff to go along with it, but you can pick up some worms or some other baits there that are super effective in the surf. There's also yellowfin croaker biting. Now, a few halibut still around. It was an exceptional halibut year in the surf. And there's some spotfin croaker. Spotfin croaker are a bait fish. In other words, they don't bite lures all that well. You are very wise to dig up some sandworms or purchase some worms down there at Big Fish and fish those spotfin that way. And I'm talking about from the border all the way up to the Channel Islands on the beaches. Some pretty good fishing. A chrome crocodile, 3/4 ounce. Chuck it out there, wind on it. That's a great way to get the job done also. All right, my friends, I'm so happy to be back with you all here, standing on this lovely beach on my son Patrick's birthday, September the 23rd. Another 23. I was born March 23rd. Patrick was born on September 23rd. My dad played college football, and his jersey was number 23. I mean, the 23s are just overflowing, I'll tell you that. My brother Paul, February 23rd. So it's a special day, and hopefully Patrick has a great day, and hopefully all of you do also. So, kind of hit and miss right now offshore, no doubt about it, but you get some exceptional opportunities. I'll be working on that video. There's some shorts up right now, man. John's big tuna coming over the rail. What an exciting short that is. Check that out. I also caught video of the guy who dropped his rod in the drink, and it was a great save by Dave. Check that out. Don't forget, Promar Ahi, 10% off. Just put in Friedman 10, Friedman 10, Friedman. That's an easy way to remember it. Or you can go to the website on the Independence if you'd like to join us on that 5-day trip. That is independencesportfishing.com. Great to be with you. Beautiful, gorgeous Saturday morning. I wish you all well, and I hope you get out and get to catch a fish here really, really soon. Thanks, everybody. And, of course, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.